This was supposed to look like a harmless music teaser, but it may actually be another chapter in the Beckham family Cold War. Cruz Beckham just dropped a preview of his new video, and the setting is very thoughtful. His dad David's favorite old-school pie and mash spot, a clear nod to family roots and devotion. The timing is interesting, because while Cruz appears to be signaling connection, his older brother Brooklyn is doing the exact opposite, flooding social media with romantic posts about Nicola while ignoring the family entirely. So the real question now isn't about the song. It's whether this is tribute or silent, calculated messaging inside a fractured family. Now here's why this actually matters. Cruz isn't just posting casually. He's pushing a proper music rollout with his band, and the new track For Your Love is clearly part of a bigger positioning moment for him as an artist. But the problem is, right now the Beckham name isn't being driven by music or projects, it's being driven by family drama. That dispute has basically become the dominant public narrative. So every post, every interview, even background details like where a video is filmed start getting read as signals instead of coincidence. And that creates the real tension here. Is Cruz silently trying to rebuild bridges with his parents? Or is this another delicate escalation playing out in public while Brooklyn continues to distance himself? That doubt is what's keeping people watching. Now look closely at where this teaser was filmed because it wasn't random. Cruz chose his dad David's favorite old-school pie and mash spot, the kind of place that screams East London roots, nostalgia, working-class identity. That's a very specific visual message. When a celebrity family is publicly fractured, symbolism like this rarely happens by accident. And the branding angle is obvious too. David has always leaned heavily into that humble beginnings narrative despite global fame, and Cruz echoing that aesthetic feels like alignment, almost strengthening which side of the family story he's standing on right now. Especially coming so soon after Brooklyn's very public criticism of their parents. Because here's the suggestion people are picking up on. While Brooklyn is distancing himself, Cruz appears to be doubling down on family loyalty. Not aggressively, not confrontationally, just silently signaling it through imagery, setting, and timing. In normal circumstances, this would just be a nice father-son nod. But in the middle of an unresolved family feud, it starts looking more strategic than sentimental. And whether deliberate or not, it positions Cruz closer to the parents while the divide with Brooklyn still looks very real. While Cruz appears to be leaning toward family symbolism, Brooklyn Beckham is projecting something very different, a tight, almost insular focus on his marriage to Nicola Peltz. His recent posts aren't neutral lifestyle updates. They're overtly romantic, timed right before Valentine's Day, and they consistently spotlight the couple rather than the wider family. Even the music choices strengthen that narrative. One post featured a classic romantic track from Barry White, which isn't subtle. It amplifies the message that his emotional priority is clearly his relationship, not reunion. And when that happens during an active family dispute, people don't read it as coincidence. They read it as positioning. So the emerging interpretation is pretty direct. Brooklyn isn't signaling repair right now. He's signaling loyalty. Marriage first, family second. Whether that's intended or simply personal comfort, the public effect is the same. It keeps the perception of division alive and suggests the distance inside the Beckham family is not closing anytime soon. This is where things got more pointed. Cruz didn't just post music promo. He shared throwback photos of him and his brothers growing up. Childhood shots, family memories, nostalgia-heavy imagery. And he paired it with an emotional Billy Joel track about loss and searching for something that's missing. That combination doesn't read casual. It reads intentional, like a public olive branch, without actually saying the words. But here's the part that shifted the narrative. Brooklyn didn't acknowledge it. No comment, no repost, no subtle nod back. Instead, his feed stayed locked into couple content with Nicola, almost like the family angle didn't exist. And in a feud this public, silence can speak louder than statements. So now the perception changes. What might have looked like reconciliation suddenly looks one-sided, an outreach that landed flat. And when audiences see parallel messaging like this, it reinforces the idea that the family fracture isn't cooling down, it's settling in. Quick pause. If you're following this story for the real context behind the headlines, hit subscribe now. Because at this point, you're not just watching a celebrity family disagreement. You're watching two completely different narratives play out in public at the same time, and neither side looks ready to move first. Now Cruz also stepped into traditional media promotion, appearing on Chris Evans' breakfast show to push the band and the new single. The messaging there was prominently controlled. Heavy stress on the music, the band dynamic, creative collaboration. He even referenced family listening support on air, which subtly strengthens unity without directly addressing the grudge. That's classic image management. Keep the focus on career momentum, not family drama. But the press isn't letting that separation hold. Interviews meant to spotlight music keep getting reframed through the family conflict lens. So despite the attempt to pivot toward artistic credibility, the Beckham narrative still keeps dragging attention back to the grudge. It shows how difficult it is to run a clean promo cycle when personal tensions dominate the public story. And then the older controversy resurfaces again, the wedding incident. The 2022 reception moment involving Marc Anthony is still being referenced because it's central to the fallout. Brooklyn's claim was that the first dance with Nicola was effectively interrupted, with criticism aimed squarely at Victoria Beckham. The problem is accounts conflict. Some witnesses downplay it as awkward timing rather than intentional interference, while others suggest it deeply upset the couple. That uncertainty keeps the controversy alive. There's no single agreed narrative, so the story keeps recycling, and every time it resurfaces, it reopens the wider family divide instead of letting it fade. Another layer people are starting to factor in is money and influence. Nicola's father, Nelson Peltz, operates in a completely different financial league than most celebrity families, and that certainly shapes perception. The public narrative silently shifts from just emotional fallout to something more structural. Independence versus backing, legacy wealth versus new financial alignment. Whether fair or not, observers read that as Brooklyn building a life anchored outside the Beckham orbit, not inside it. And once that perception sets in, reunion starts looking less like a simple family disagreement and more like a long-term repositioning. So where this currently lands is not repair, it's readjustment. Cruz appears to be strengthening continuity with his parents, leaning into heritage, roots, and family symbolism. Brooklyn, on the other hand, keeps projecting union around his marriage and his own household. Two different directions, both very visible. And until one side signals a genuine shift, this story doesn't resolve. It just settles into a new normal, legacy versus autonomy, still unresolved.